category is Spill the Tea.
Hello, doll photographer and doll storyteller. We're here today, as you have probably seen on the title and on the miniature. We are gonna get in problematic, that is, the Defa Lucy doll. And just a little disclaimer right here, right now, it's not properly the doll that is problematic. It's how you get the doll that is problematic. When we are gonna just discuss about that, there's going to be many articles, many links in the description for you to read if you want to get deeper on the investigation that is going on around them. And when I say them, I mean Shein and Temu, because those are the two companies that are selling the doll. Even though, well, we're going to get into the tea. Meanwhile, I'm also going to do a rebody of the Ken doll because I just find this pretty much twink doll, Ken doll, so I'm gonna rebody them. So the idea of the video came out a few weeks ago because I kept seeing that the Defa Lucy doll is becoming really trendy and a lot of doll influencers are just sharing their review about unboxing and what they think about the doll and all the things like that. Plastic paper to protect the doll, boiling water. And I think that is gonna work. Come on. Okay. So I keep seeing her and I was kind of concerned. It triggers me a bit because I keep seeing that the people are buying from either Shein or Temu. I think it's Temu or Temu, but I'm going to say Temu. And that kind of triggers me because we all know in the past that Shein have been called out for forced labor against the Uyghur community. And if you don't know what's a Uyghur, let me just give you a quick reminder. Those are Chinese citizens that are Muslim, and they put them in a camp because they want to convert them. Because apparently being a Muslim is problematic for the Communist Party in China. So just a quick reminder, in case you haven't been in school for some reasons, do you remember the last time we put people in the camp because of their religion? How did it end up? Just dropping here. So after a few days, I saw the doll daddy sharing a fashion pack from the Defa Lucy. And since he is fighting against racism, he called out the people who are racist in the community, and he is really invested in the LGBTQ community, QEA plus community. I just found it quite questioning the fact that he is sharing this doll pack, knowing what he stands for. So I just said, I hope you're not going to think about buying them or something like that. I don't really remember. And since it's a private conversation, I'm not going to share it here. But he asked me what's the deal. So I told him about the Shein company, the Temu company, the fact that you can't find their doll anywhere else. So he kind of said that maybe people don't know that. So I thought, okay, that's a good point. So I have been commented on videos on the doll content influencers that I'm following on YouTube saying that you buy this doll from two companies that are problematic. And I was quite surprised with some of their answers. Just so you know, I'm going to tag every single person that I have been commenting on their video. Just so you know also, if you are one of those person, it's not up to you that I have. It's not because you're doing that is, you are a bad person or whatever. I'm not here to say who is guilty and who is not. I'm just saying that you have a responsibility when it comes to become a doll influencers and you are making a review of a certain type of doll because people who's going to watch that is going to buy it. And some of you have even put a link in the description. So the people have just to click on it, get to Temu or get to Shein to get the doll. And that is problematic. And yeah, I have to talk about him because I mentioned him on the title and on the description. Uh, my dear Michael Hernandez. He is also one of the reasons that I decided to do this video because he has shared comment that I just found he either it's hilarious, also pretty much sad, or I don't know. But no, you can't do that. And I'm gonna share that because it's a public comment, so I'm allowed to.
First off, we need to know what is a Uyghur. And the answer is pretty simple. It's a Chinese person that is Muslim, but that represents a threat for the Chinese government. Xi Jinping said that Islam extremism is like a virus. It spread really easily and is dangerously addictive, and declared that addressing it will require a period of painful interventionary treatment, which lead to the camp that we have now and that is spreading all around China, most likely in the north of China, but everywhere around. And don't you worry, I have all the link in the description if you want to read more about that. The revelation started on November 2019 when the New York Times shared a document that they received that contains 400 pages of document where you can find Chinese government statement, which is one of the one I just said. You can also find document about students that came back to China and discovered that their families, their relatives, their friends have been held in the camp. You can also read that there is a lot of family that had children, and the Chinese decided to take the children away from their parents and build some kind of boarding school just for them. So just think about that, about the situation. And don't get me wrong, there is many companies that have been called out at that moment. Like, for example, Nike have been called out, Apple have been called out, Adidas have been called out, H&M have been called out. Because the micro component, for example, that you have on your iPhone or iPad or MacBook, those micro components come from the Chinese camp of the Uyghurs. Many fabrics, for example, you can find this and they are provided by the Uyghur camp because it's cheaper. Of course, it's forced labor, so of course it's cheaper. Anyway, many brands have decided to just stop because they have been called out, of course, and have decided to go to alternative ways. The duty to be more respectable as a brand. Now let's focus a bit more about Temu, and one of the things that is more known about them is they have this tendency to just like get all the personal data that they can find. The Grizzly Reports expert have identified so many software that were either inappropriate or dangerous or both on several app or several software. They studied Temu, Shein, Amazon, TikTok, eBay, and AliExpress. But here's the thing. All the security issues that is recorded on this graphic, you can tell that Temu is most likely the most dangerous one because if you have an Android, for example, you can see on the line number 12, they have access to your camera, external storage, to your audio, to your install packages. So every app that you have downloaded, they have access to your internet navigator. They have access of the wake lock. I don't know what that is, but wake lock. It's supposedly dangerous, I guess. But you can see that there is many other apps that are to blame as well. But once again, when you are suggesting to your followers, subscribers to go on Temu, this is what you get them exposed to. Again, you are a influencer, you have responsibilities. It's too easy to say, I'm just sharing something I like. No, it's not 2012 anymore. Okay. Once again, there is going to be a link in the description if you want to read these articles more deeply. There is an article, and once again, I'm going to repeat myself, but you're going to find all the links in the description. There is a Belgium reporters called Flair that have tested 28 products from Temu websites. 28, and they decided to go very large. They tested electronic, toys, makeup, and all the things that you can find there from different categories. And the results came up that 100% of the object represent a danger to the consumer. And one of the main problems that we can find, and you can read that on the articles that I'm going to be linked in the description so you can be aware, is that they have the CE label, which means that this product respond to all the different points that the European government have decided to, which means that you have to know what is inside, what are the ingredients, how they're made, where they're made, and all the different kind of things. And you have to be able to read every single line to have access to those information so you know what you're buying and what you're consuming. But here's the thing, many of the articles that they brought, that they get from Temu, didn't have this ingredient list, which is one of the main thing that the CE label is asking for. So once again, I'm gonna do a lot of repeating because I think that we have, as a doll community, as adult doll collector, we have to know those things, and you have to keep that in our minds every single day, especially in that part for the doll collector, doll influencers specifically. You have a responsibility when you link Timu in your description and asking your community to click on the link and get to the website to get their stuff. Now let's talk about the 996. It's basically a contract that they have in China, and many, well, maybe not too much, but some company use that. And again, there is going to be a link in the description if you want to know more about the 996 and which company is involved in that. The 996 stands for starting work at 9 a.m., leaving at 9 p.m., 6 days per week. Just to make sure that you get it, this is 18 hours of work per week with 1 day of resting. And in that situation, that implies Shein and Temu. And I agree. I know what you're going to say or what you're going to thinking. This condition are not, or at least not what is going on with the Defa Lucy company, because we don't know anything yet. That's what I'm talking about here. At least that those information about the 996, we discovered that on December 2020. But I'm curious to know, do you really have to wait for the Defa Lucy company to be called out? Or, I don't know, you do you, I do me, but it's up to you at the end of the day. But as we have talked about the Uyghur camp, something that I forgot to mention is those brands like Nike, Apple, or even Shein, for example, all this micro component from Apple or the fabrics for the Nike, Adidas, or Shein, for example, all those fabrics come from one of the Uyghur camp. So the question is, where is the fabric coming from for the Defa Lucy? Because I'm guessing that if they choose to work only with Temu and Shein is for a reason. Otherwise, they will be available on AliExpress. Otherwise, they will be available on Amazon. but they're not. They're only available on those two apps. Morchi, December 2022. Shein has been sued by Temu for copyright violation. And this is just hilarious. So basically, Temu is accusing Shein of forced exclusivity, threats, intimidation, and direct financial sanction because here's the thing. Temu and Shein have works with basically same brands, same factory. And Shein have decided they want the exclusivity and they don't care how they're going to be able to get them. So they just summon the factory owners or the brands to come to their place, trap them there, and force them to sign a contract of exclusivity, which Temu seems to not appreciate that much.
So there are several also answers that I have been commenting on the different video, and here are the answers that I have so far. The psychodologist said, "Hi, Elias, that's me. Thanks for watching. You're welcome. I love her." In terms of factory and condition, I've not seen any issues with the Defa Lucy company, and Shein doesn't own the company, which means the factory conditions, if that is what you are referring to. Of Shein are not too relevant. We will keep an eye on things though. Here's the thing. This company is not owned by Shein and Temu, but they are choosing to sell only on Shein and Temu for a specific reason that we have seen earlier. Because that's the thing. If you are capable to telling me where the doll is product, where is their factory, where does the fabrics come from, that's okay. I'm really up to that because there is a lot of company, like for example Mattel, MGA. They are really becoming transparent because of the Uyghur situation. They have been mandatory to say where the product come from, and it can be tricky. For example, there is a lot of French car that says made in France. But at the end of the day, when you're actually watching and reading the description of the auto, you see that the pieces are currently made in Romania, but the assembly is in France. So they're kind of, making a pun here, playing with the words. But at the end of the day, at least we have the information. In that case scenario, we don't have it, which is problematic because don't you forget that they have the CE, which means that they respect the European Union condition to get access to our market. And one of the basics condition is to tell where the products come from, which is not the case here. But thank you anyway, and I hope this video is going to give you any answers. The other comment that I had is from Barbie Nation. He said, "Oh, where can we find that info? Interesting." Well, I hope this video is going to give you all the information you're going to need. One of the most fascinating conversations that I had was on the Don't Call Me Doll account. And someone just said something that I was just, he said it all. Some doll collectors only care about instant gratification. They don't care about ethical consumers, unfortunately. Girl, you said it all. You said it all. Let's talk about my dear Michael Hernandez. I hope you're going to watch it. But, well, I have been on different doll content creator channel because I follow them. So of course, when I open YouTube, their video is going to come out, and at some point I just had Defa Lucy, Defa Lucy, Defa Lucy hearing. I got her from Temu, I got her from Shein, I got her from Temu, and blah blah blah. So I've commented on every single doll influencer that I'm following who have created a content with a doll. One of the comments that I've shared was, as a doll influencer, I think you should remind people what it involves buying from Shein or Temu and what's going on with the company at the moment. You have a responsibility to your community when making a review and making them want to get the doll. Because as I said, and as it says here, if you are making a review of a doll and you're saying where you buy it and how much you buy it, it's called influencers. You influence your audience to buy or not the product that you're showing. And this is when I have heard for the first time from Michael Hernandez, everybody. From my understanding, his video are not sponsored. His only responsibility is to buy the shit that makes him happy. If you care so much, post about it on your own channel rather than attacking other creators. The videos are free, sorry. If they bother you, move on. Okay. There are some things that is not good in that comment, and some other that are pretty good and acceptable. From my understanding, his video are not sponsored. Once again, sponsored or not sponsored, you're creating a content saying how much, saying where to get this product. This is called influence. Even if you're not sponsored, that doesn't mean that you don't have an influence and a responsibility to your community to share products you trust from a company that is trustable. Once again, the company that created Defa Lucy is yet not problematic, but their choices to sell on the two companies, that is Shein and Temu, is a choice they made for specific reasons. It's not public yet, but when you see all the articles we just mentioned earlier, it's quite obvious. His only responsibility is to buy the shit that makes him happy, and that's something that I'm definitely okay with. That's the perfect excuses, and that makes total sense. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is that you buy product that makes you happy. But here's the thing. Buy a trendy dolls to create content because you know it's trendy and it's going to bring some views. Is it really a choice? Not sure about that. Because, for example, Doll Nation, he have bought those Defa Lucy doll. He is really into pastel, pinkish. I love his content, by the way. He has shared videos on the Defa Lucy, and now he's sharing videos on how he restyled her. So that means that he is actually interested in the dolls. You know what I mean? And in that case scenario, good for you. But don't promote it. Don't say you buy it from companies that are enslaved people. I mean, seriously, no. If you care so much, post it about your own channel. Well, Michael Hernandez, look where we are. Rather than attacking other creators. That's something that is very interesting because why do you feel attacked?
Yeah, I feel very attacked. Relax.
Because I'm telling you that this company is problematic, not that the person is problematic. If you don't see the problem, you are the problem. That's one of the sayings that we have in France, and it makes total sense. If you feel attacked, why? Why do you feel attacked? Because I'm telling you that Shein and Temu is just basically a danger for human rights. It's a danger for ecology. It's a danger for most likely everything. It's not attacking. Whatever. The videos are free. If they bother you, move on. The videos are free. That's true. But when you are watching a video, you actually create something for the algorithm that will push the videos. So it's for free, yes and no. If you bother, you move on. And that's something that is pretty much scary. Here's the thing. So if you see something that is not fair, if you see something that is violence, if you see something that is called oppression, racism, you just move on? You're not going to stand for it? Pretty much interesting, Michael Hernandez. Pretty much interesting. So, after that, I commented what I just basically said. It's because of people remaining silent that so many communities have been oppressed over the years. Think of that before responding. And I think that is a good advice for anybody here. Think before posting a comment. Just because a content creator is not sponsored doesn't mean they don't have a responsibility as influencers. When you share product you like or use, it does have an influence of people buying them. But don't you worry, I'm currently working on the video, blah, blah, blah. This is what we are doing here. And I hope you'll understand why this is problematic. I hope you do, Michael Hernandez, but that doesn't end here. No. He commented again. Then I guess you should also get to getting rid of any fast fashion you own. Just for the record, Michael Hernandez, it's not fast fashion, it's ultra fast fashion because we've seen previously that the workers there work 996. So it's not fast fashion. And also, if you know me, you do know that I'm neither fast fashion, neither fashion. I mean, look at my clothes. Pretty much look like, yeah, never mind. Or really anything you own that was made in China. So again, bro, the problem is not that it is made in China because there is so many company and factory in China that respect the labor law. Shein and Temu doesn't. Do your research at some point, really. Not only that, but Edmund isn't the only person reviewing Lucy dolls, and this is what I said earlier. Are you also leaving the same comments on everyone else's video? Yes, I do. And you can see on the description info bar right below all the doll content creators that I have been commenting on their video. And tag me. I don't give a fuck. Bro. I'm not going to watch it anyways. I hope you really do because it is a choice to remain blind. It is a choice, and you are about to make it. So now that we have seen what is problematic about those two companies, I'm thinking I think it's time to just get to the tea somehow. Yeah, squish it. I can't talk during that. Oh, that was pretty easy. So straight to the buff can here. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so the Defa Lucy by itself, I don't really, it's not the problem. As I said earlier at the beginning of the video, I don't mind the people who are buying her. You do you and I do me, you know what I mean? And I can understand that we do not have the same salary at the end of the month, so budget friendly is pretty much logic for some people. But here's the thing. What is concerning is that we know that some big company have asked the Uyghur camp to provide them some articles. We already see that before. What I'm questioning is where does the fabric come from for the Defa Lucy? Because there is no, clarity about that. We do not know. They don't share that kind of information for obvious reason. The other thing that is concerning is, again, why is it only available on Temu and Shein? There is many other apps that you can just sell it, your product. But they decided to go with those two who have been working with the Weibo camp. And they are still, according to the article I just read before, they are still working with them. There's still investigation about that. There's still investigation about spying on the bank account, on the personal information, on what app do you use, where do you buy your dolls or clothes or whatever. When do you buy it? All those information, and I get it. It's most likely a lot of app does that. The only issues is that they have a certain control. They can't sell those information to anyone. The problem is that at this point, they don't have any of those controls. They can sell to whoever the fuck they want. That's only the problem. And about the budget friendly, let's go back to Etsy, for example, because they can sell on Etsy. There is many Chinese factory that sells on Etsy their product. You can see many miniatures on Etsy. So that's why Defa Lucy doesn't. And that might be because of the cost. Ask any creators, designers who work on Etsy how much fee they have to pay when you buy a product. Because here's how it works. You have the product, okay? You have to, make a price of the product. So usually you will charge the fabric, you will charge the materials you use, which is basically the fabrics for designers, but there is many other like miniatures or whatever. You're going to charge the time you spend on working on that because some people have a 9 to 5 job. So they do it on their free times. So it's kind of obvious they charge for that. And you also have to add the fees on the price because this is how it works. Etsy, AliExpress, Amazon, whatever, they are here to promote and to help you to have a platform that brings many customers, potential customers. In exchange of that, they are charging you some fees on the product. So every single product that you sell, some of this money goes to the app or the store. So when you're buying a Defa Lucy from Shein and Temu, even though it's not their companies, even though Defa Lucy is not owned by one of them too, you're still paying them. I'm giving you a simple example. I am actually recording with an iPhone. iPhone have been called out, well, not iPhone, but Apple have been called out because some of the components inside the iPhone, MacBook, iPad, whatever, came from the Uyghur camp. So now that obviously they said we're not going to do that anymore because it's bad, because blah, blah, blah. I still have doubt, which is why my iPhone is a second hand. I'm not willing to pay Apple because of that, but I love their phone. I love the quality of the camera. I love the quality of the apps and all the things. Personally, I find it more easy, but I don't want to give my money to Apple. Someone paid it, don't want the phone anymore, and they sell it. So I'd rather just pay that. Same for Harry Potter. I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter or Harry Potter. This is a little blink for it. James, if you're coming by, but there is no way I'm gonna give money to a transphobic person. So when I want to buy some goodies from Harry Potter, it's either someone who is making it or someone who is selling something. You know, we have Vinted, for example, in France or in Europe, that is a second-hand marketplace, and I find it way more easier. So once again, it's not. I'm not here to say it's bad or it's you bad or whatever. When it's good, when it's bad, am I as innocent as a child? I am not because I've done that in the past too. But right now, we have all the information, so it's a choice to not seeing those information. It's a choice to remain blind when there is a country there are enslaved people, and you have to know where you want to stand for. Because don't ever forget that as a customer, you have the power to decide if you want to buy a product from a company or not. If you want to get the Defa Lucy, get her. That's not the problem. But make sure that it comes from a safe place for the community and for just basic human right. That's all.